laptop. Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Whew. Ugh. Ugh. Give me just a second, guys. I'm trying to get my laptop up so I have everything ready to go. Just easier that way to see the Twitch chat and whatnot. Of course, got fucking updates on my laptop, so that's not gonna work. Whatever. We'll just go ahead and start. My laptop's ready. So, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle. Just me today, flying solo. And I'm here with the top 44 GMs as ranked by me. So this is just a personal list, not a reflection of anybody else on the league. Don't take it too seriously. I'm mostly just memeing, so like it's not. This is not a definitive ranking, obviously. So I'm gonna start off with number 44, and we're gonna go with Sawyer, the former Ravens GM. He was here for 3 days and made one move that got rejected because it was a terrible move. And yeah, just there was nothing about the first Lamar Jackson trade that was any good for anyone involved, honestly. Yeah, he probably could have taken Brian Sharp, but so yeah, he wasn't around long, but he technically counts for this Madden. Number 43 is Noel Soda. My favorite bot, my favorite not actual person. Made 0 moves in free agency, made 0 moves in the draft. Didn't attend a draft the first 2 years. Yeah, we're on the 3rd season, so didn't attend either of the first 2 drafts. Just has a bunch of guys who are in huge contracts. Put Travis in a bad spot where he has to make moves that aren't necessarily conducive for what he... Sawyer's underrated, bad list. Sawyer top 5. Yeah, you're right, Pod. Ryan and Pod are absolutely correct. I don't know what I'm thinking having Sawyer so low. That's my bad, guys. Yeah, so Noel Soda, he gets a pass because he did draft the only X Factor player who's been drafted. So that's why he's not 44, is because he let his computer do something right. Number 42 is Salsa, the original Steelers. They were really bad to start Madden. Really, really bad. The Steelers were on their way to being a top 2 pick and then like won some games. So he made no moves that first year that like really helped. Number 41 is Giovanni. And to be fair, the guys who are newer are all going to be fairly low on this list. They haven't been around long enough to make any moves that really can affect their teams one way or the other. Giovanni put some guys on the trade block, but didn't make any moves. He's reached out to a couple people I know for possible trades, but nothing is materialized. I mean, he's got a really good roster. His team should be better than I think they're 4-7, 5-6, something like that. Oh, 3-7. Much worse than I thought, actually. So that's number 41. Number 40 is Ravens Mike. This is, again, this isn't a shot at Mike. He's done some things that are pretty good. Let me open this up real quick. Yeah, he's done some nice things. But then you have to look at the Lamar Jackson trade that a lot of people in the league don't think is enough. I mean, he's playing J.K. Dobbins, so that's a positive compared to every other Ravens GM. I guess Sawyer didn't have the chance. Traded away Marquise Brown for 2 firsts, which is good. So, but obviously with Mike being number 40, that means that, he's in the bottom 4 right now, or 5. And right above him is Utch at number 39. Utch didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he did trade for Quan Alexander, a move that I didn't like, with Patrick Queen sitting there at 21 at the time, and just better physical stats across the board. He also didn't play J.K. Dobbins, who was better than Mark Ingram, so I didn't like that either. So we're going to jump into the first, having ranked a few GMs, we're going to jump into the first set of questions. We're going to jump into Sean has a few questions, so I'll do a couple of them here. First question Sean has, does Oscar Tomlinson have a shot at Offensive Rookie of the Year and a chance at making an all-rookie team? I don't think he has a shot at Offensive Rookie of the Year at all. Just looking at the numbers from the AFC, the rushing numbers, I don't think he's quite on the level of... Yeah, Dwayne Glenn has 1,055 yards and 8 touchdowns, and Oscar Tomlinson has 762 yards and 4 touchdowns. So no, he doesn't have a shot at Rookie of the Year. Does he have a shot at the all-rookie team? Yes, he could make it as a flex. So his next question, Sean's next question, are there any GMs that might be considered good right now that might just be good due to the team they inherited? I took that into account. The only one that you could make that case for, I think, is No Other One, but I'm in leagues with No Other One, so I'm not gonna say that. So no. I mean, I guess if you want to say Russ, you could, but everybody who's still good, has had to make moves to stay good, so I don't think that it's a matter of just inheriting a good roster. If there was a least desirable team to take over right now, an NFL GM, what team would it be? It would be the Dolphins and the Bills. Not for anything that, The Bills, because they, have no quarterback. But the Dolphins, because I have to play Cody twice a year and Pode, and I have Tua as a quarterback. So, all right. So, moving on. At number 38, we have Raiders Travis. Again, not due to any fault of his own, but he inherited a really bad situation in Oakland. No cap space, no moves made to make that team better going forward. I want to look real quick. I didn't take a look when I was doing this. I mean, this rookie running back is fine, I guess, but a lot of that comes from having played behind Josh Jacobs for so long that you can't really hold that against him. But yeah, I don't particularly like the Josh Jacobs trade, but I get why you make it, but it's not for me. So moving on, we have finally my chat's open. I can see. Moving on, we have the Vikings user McGriffey. Added Cam Newton, played fine. Dalvin Cook's fine. I mean, 68 yards a game is pretty bad, actually, for Dalvin Cook. Justin Jefferson's fine. Irv Smith still has Kyle Rudolph on this team for whatever reason. May have even re-signed him to a contract because I can't remember how many years he had left. Yeah, that's too much money. So, yeah, I don't like anything that he's done. But he also hasn't had a lot of time to make moves that would change the face of this team. So we'll see how that goes. Is that? Number 36 is Titan Sam. He took a really good Nathan team and made it bad. So there's not much to say outside of that. 35 is Nick, the former Vikings user. I just like Nick, so he gets to go above McGriffey just because I like him more. I mean, yeah, he did get good picks from Kendricks, but there's so many other moves that I would have rather seen him make than that. He did trade Adam Thielen too, so which is something I haven't been able to do in my Vikings team. So yeah, 35 is Nick. He didn't do anything, but like I said, I like Nick, so he gets a pass. 34 is Fake Zach. 44 in total. Cirilio. And we're at 34. So Fake Zach will be number 34. Didn't make any moves, but I always like Zach, so he gets another guy who gets a pass. Fine, I'll advance, Kevin. We're advancing early, I guess. Let me type in the CM chat that I have advance. Here we go. And I'll even type up. How are we at 34 and I haven't heard Pode's name? You'll hear it soon. No, I'm just kidding. Pode's pretty high, actually. Welcome to week 13. All right. Now I have to go back to my list. I did Fake Zach. Okay, so at 33, we have Billy B. and this is just for the memes. He would be higher if he was actually in the league, because he'd be beating Cody every time. For those of you who weren't around during the Billy B days, Billy B was the original creator of NFL GM, who cheated his way to the top, basically. Let's say that. He cheated his way to the top. There's no... Would you guys call Cody a cheater? I think it really hurts his feelings because he thinks that you guys are comparing him to Billy B. Which Cody is no Billy B. Let's see if we can get to a more into improviser here. Nope. Of course, Field General went up. Of course, Field General went up. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? So, that is number 33. At 32, we have Sean. So if somebody wants to tag Sean in the chat and let him know that he is number 33, or 30, I'm sorry, 32, is Sean. So, Sean has made a lot of really questionable moves. And, what can you say other than that? He's made some of the worst moves this Madden. He gets to be a little higher because he's done some decent drafting. Kyle Pitts is an amazing pick. Oscar Tomlinson has been a steal. But then you look at it, and he signed a 62 overall corner who has 86 speed to a big contract. So then at 31, we have Blair. I like a lot of Blair's moves, but the problem with every move that I like from Blair... That was the point, Kevin. Every move that Blair makes has a counter move that I don't like. I like signing Matthew Stafford. I like signing Marlon Mack. Sam really likes the pick of Ja'Marr Chase. I really don't like the pick of Ja'Marr Chase because he could have just kept Dede Westbrook and rolled out Shark, Dede, and Shenault. Cameron Brate, that's not a good move. But then the one that I really didn't like is trading for John Johnson and then signing Anthony Harris. So you've got one really old guy in the back. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it's a dude for some... I don't like Anthony Harris. I think giving up a first for John Johnson is bad, but... So, answering the rest of Sean's questions, why is Madden ass and can't fix this rookie glitch where it doesn't count downs played for no reason? Because it's EA, man. They don't have any reason to fix that bug. Why would they fix it? It doesn't affect anything. Really, other than superstars and X Factors, but for them that doesn't matter. So, I don't know why you would think that they would fix that. Cody has put Wyrick on the block officially. How much do you think someone is going to overpay for him to help Cody out some more? If it's not players... It's not like a really good offensive lineman because Cody's O-line is getting kind of older. Wynn's not old. Shaq's getting to the point where he's going to regress. Andrews is going to regress. And Tooney is going to regress. So he might look for some O-line. But if it's not O-line, Cody's going to get at least 2 firsts and 2 twos. I don't think Cody would take any less for Wyrick. And Sean's last question, are you going to be getting COD Cold War? And if so, have you checked out the zombies stuff that they released yesterday? Shit was crazy. Yes, I'm going to get COD because I love zombies. This was a year for zombies, so I always get COD that year. And no, I didn't check it out yesterday, but I will look at it sometime today. Moving on to Corb's questions. We'll do a couple from Corb. Chuba Torres Labrum. Good. That's what you get. What 4 teams would you love to GM right now? And I think anybody who's listened to any of the other podcasts, it should be pretty obvious. I really like the Bengals team. I really like Roy's Cardinals. I would like to GM them. And then my other two would be the Packers and the Saints. I really like Sam's young collection of talent. I think it's a really nice young group of guys. So, if you could get a free SUV, which one would you pick? I don't know. Like I guess like an Escalade. Like I don't know. Like something really nice. If I was getting it for free, I'd want like a top end one. But I don't know, man. Like that's I don't want the Pats. I don't want the Pats. What when have I ever like picked the best team for anything? Like I know it's crazy. Um, if you were lost on an island, what three things would you want to keep you sane? Um, a some kind of book, like whether it's like something by Stephen King, because they're usually. You did. You still have time, Kevin. If you send them in now, I can answer them. I've got plenty of questions. I've got plenty of time still. But a book, uh, like I get my iPhone, like even if it doesn't have service, like I could still listen to. Yeah, of course I'll take the 2 and 5 team. Duh. I'll take the 2 through 5s. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, no, we don't play Mike. So my iPhone to listen to some music, and then I don't know. My dog, so I at least have someone to. Yes, the band soundtrack that I never that I never play, that I immediately turn off. That's what I actually. You're right, Pode. I would bring just the Madden commentary track, so I could just listen to Charles Davis and Brandon Goggin talk to me over and over again, saying the same things over and over. Um, of all the trades you made, which trade would you take back if you could? Uh, Honestly, probably trading for Geno Atkins. That's been a big bust for me. Um, he hasn't done anything for me, and it's been really disappointing. So that's probably the key one I would take back. I think he's got like a sack or two for me, if that. I think he had 2.5 when I traded for him, so 2 sacks. Just really hasn't brought anything. No tackles for loss. He's just been really meh. All right, so back to the list. At number 30. Oh, it's not your fault, Cirilio. Like I didn't give up that much for him either, honestly. So it's not. It's what it is. What it is. At number 30, I have myself. Uh, I haven't been able to get to improviser or scrambler. I haven't been able to turn around this defense. A couple of my young guys really aren't performing as good as they should. Okay, Kevin, I'll add them to my list. So yeah, 30. Taking out older guys, it's probably more like 25 or 26. So not terrible. Well, maybe like 24. At 29, I have Team Perp. The Steelers from the current Steelers user. I don't like trading Devin Bush, and I don't like trading for Christian McCaffrey, but he got Dwayne Haskins, who's played fairly well for him. Changing Chase Claypool's number was huge. Like, I don't like that number that he had. So yeah, I really like a lot of the things he did outside of trading Devin Bush, because now, I mean, he does have Zach Shade as his legacy player, so that's not terrible. But, you know, not my favorite move that could have been made. At 28, I have Spaz. Spaz had made a few trades early in this Madden cycle that didn't pan out for him, but were good trades still. Trading for J.C. Jackson just gave him a really good secondary. I really like the Zamar White pick, and think if it wasn't for the emergence of Javian Hawkins, and Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, I think White would be the runaway number one. I mean, he's got 11 touchdowns, which is more than any of those guys, but I mean, he doesn't average a lot of yards per game. So, I think that he's done a lot of good things. At 27, I have Phil. Phil would be higher for not doing much, except that he traded a first for O.J. Howard, which I think was a weird move. And he traded away Keenan Allen, but he got Tyler Boyd back in that trade. Herbert's been okay, hasn't been great. He signed Todd Gurley, which is nice, as a secondary back. He picked Tevin Campbell early. Not a bad move. He traded for Sydney. That was a weird move. But he's done some nice things there, so I can't really fault Phil for a lot of his moves. At 26 is Tyler, which I know will probably surprise some people because we've been very critical of Tyler on this podcast. But Tyler's team wins with what he's doing, so there's not a lot that you can really say negatively. I don't like signing Tom Brady. I don't like trading for Daniel Jones, but he did some good moves. Devontae Smith is probably a decent replacement for Odell. He got rid of Njoku. There was the Christian Barmore pick was really good. Alex Anzalone is not bad. He got Mac Wilson to superstar. I didn't know he had moved. Or no, never mind. That's right. Paulson Adebo was a great pick for him. So I like a lot of the things that Tyler did. No, I hated. That is the move that I hated the most that he has done, and I was going to talk about that. Putting Jamie Newman on the practice squad was absolutely ridiculous. There was no way that he was going to survive a full season on the practice squad. Just because Ravens legend Jamie Newman, yeah. Just because there's zero chance that nobody was going to pick him up. He was too good of a player on the practice squad. Mid-60s guys are who should be on your practice squad, not low 70s. So yeah. So then at 25, I have Lucha, which again, another, it seems really high for Lucha because he's been bad. But I like Ritter. I don't think he's been bad. Actually, he's been really, really good for him. 13-6 is not bad I'd take that with Tua all day, every day. Dwayne Glenn is a really good pickup. Nico Collins has been really good for him. Colbert balled out for him so far. He's just made a lot of, really solid trades that have made this team a lot better than I thought it would be. Snell's been really good. This move was weird, paying Carlton Davis so much money, but if you really thought he needed a corner, that's what you got to do. So yeah. So we'll do some more questions here at 25. So back to Corb's questions. what's your favorite bag of Doritos? I just like nacho cheese. I don't understand, like, what. I know, like, a lot of people like Cool Ranch, but I think ranch is disgusting. So, um, who do you think the most improved players? Yeah, I agree, Ryan. I think Cool Ranch is disgusting. Who do you think the most improved players so far for each conference? Well, I mean, I hate to say Cody's guy, but Javion Hawkins got no run last year and is now one of the best running backs in the league. Like, um, he's just been so good for Cody. Uh, you know, just behind Aaron Jones. This guy was just a kick returner last season. He's added, you know, a lot to his game and made it possible that Cody can go get a king's ransom for Wyrick. And in the dark red, they're fine. And then in the NFC, it's Cam Akers, and I don't know if it's just because he didn't get any run. The purple one smack last season, but he's been so good this season. 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. It's crazy how good he's been. Cody had a couple questions. It's the Super Bowl, and you can choose any QB to start. Who you're choosing? It's Russell Wilson for me, with Deshaun Watson being a close second. A very, very close second. And then he had another question. If you were the GM of the Patriots, what would you do in regards to the Wyrick Hawkins situation? And in Hawkins' 8 games this season, he's on track for 1,942 yards. Wyrick has 1,831 yards rushing in his MVP season last year. At the end of the year, Wyrick will have 1 year left, and Hawkins will have 2. I think you've got to trade Wyrick because you don't want to pay Wyrick a bunch of money to that could end up hurting your team. You're already giving a pretty big contract to Watson. You've got a couple defenders who are young who are going to have to get paid in a couple of years. Roll out with Hawkins and see if you can build the offense around him. So, but thanks for the questions, Cody. And then Vince had some superlative questions. Most likely to get traped by Cody. I'm going to go ahead and say the guy who will probably end up giving Cody the most right now. It's going to be somebody who thinks that they can compete soon. I'm going to say the most likely to get traped by Cody is... That's tough. Because a lot of people won't trade with Cody, but there are some who just refuse to acknowledge it. Maybe whoever the new Broncos user is going to be, since Serrano is going to step down at the end of the season. Just doesn't have the time. Most likely to pull a Noel Soda. Tyler, maybe? I don't know. It's hard to say who's just going to completely, not play. I feel like everybody here's pretty active. I guess maybe Travis, the current Raiders user, he hasn't streamed in a while, so... but hopefully he's made moves, so... Oh, yeah, Titan Sam, too. I forgot about him. Yeah, that's another one that could be... most likely to go all in on a Super Bowl, they'll never win. Rebel. I think Rebel really has made moves that it's pretty clear he thinks he can win a Super Bowl, and I don't know if that quarterback can ever beat the top teams in the NFC. So, him. Most likely to be in the tank this entire Madden cycle, the Vikings. Kevin also, yeah, that's not a bad pick for go all in on a Super Bowl. They'll never win. But yeah, most likely to be in the tank this entire Madden is Vikings. Most likely to be 8-8 forever. Both Sams, I think, will be 7-9, 8-8. I have faith that Saint Sam can turn it around at some point, but I don't know. I hope. My co-host and I need to start winning, or else it looks real. It looks real sus that him and I are out here talking shit about everybody's teams when we're middling at best. So moving back to the list, at number 24, we have Vince. Vince had a bad team to start. He made some. I like his draft. I like taking Trevor. I like getting Waddle. I like a lot of the moves he's made. But it just hasn't shown up in wins yet. Being 2-9, still in the running for a third consecutive first pick. I mean, if Sean puts together some wins, Vince is right there with a chance to pick number 1 overall. At 23, I have Saint Sam. I think him and Vince are in kind of similar situations where I've really liked what they've done in the draft. But it's not showing up as wins, although he does have a positive point differential. So that's good. But it's just, I'm worried that that he'll be stuck in a couple of years paying big contracts to a bunch of young guys. At 22, I have Larry. Larry as somehow 6-5 with a really bad quarterback, but he's got a nice team and he's done a good job of just kind of keeping the guys who need to be there and retooling. If he decides he needs to make moves, he's got the players to do it if he wants to blow this thing up and go full tank mode. But yeah, I like what Larry's done. At 21, I have Oscar and the Falcons. You traded Julio for a first. It's going to be a late first, but it's a good move to get Julio out of there. He's drafted Puka Williams and another running back this past year who've both been really good. He's made moves that he needed to get rid of aging guys, so I think he's done enough that his team really should be worse, and they're just kind of getting Madden wins, so, what can you do? At number 20, I have the second Steelers user. I don't know what his name was. He had, a really long name. I don't remember what it was, but, signing Aaron Rodgers, trading for Matt Breida. He made a lot of moves that I really liked. It's Moss, thank you. That's right. Yeah, you're right. It was It's Moss. Yeah, I really liked a lot of the things he did. If he would have stayed around longer, I think he would have definitely would have been higher on this list. At number 19, I have Twinkie. Got a first from Phil. I like trading for Rodgers. Oh, he traded for Rodgers. Yeah, disappeared, yeah. Well, there were reasons, but we won't get into that here. Twinkie at number 19. He got a first for O.J. Howard. Made a lot of really nice moves. I really liked what Twinkie was doing. If he would have stayed around, I think he would have had this Bucs team competing at the same clip, if not maybe a little better than Larry. Twinkie was always very good about knowing where he needed to, where weaknesses he had in targeting them. At 18, I have Nathan. He had this Titans team going the right direction, and then, personal stuff came up and he had to step down. But I don't think he would have been 4-7. I think he would have made the moves to keep this team in contention if he was still around. At 17, I have Lee. Now, I did write this list before the trade for Lamar Jackson. I probably would have Lee a little bit higher with the Lamar Jackson trade in mind. He gave up a lot of young talent, but Lamar Jackson makes that team a lot better than shit. No, we didn't, Will, because I forgot that we were doing that. Fuck. But yeah, like, Lamar Jackson is a much better quarterback than Drew Lock, so you get a lot better with Lamar. So hopefully Lee will climb on this list next season. Or when I do it again. It might not be next season. It might be a couple seasons. At number 16, I have no other one, which again seems really low for a guy who won the Super Bowl. But I think Jim had already done a lot of the groundwork for that team to win a Super Bowl and, had time issues. So the only real moves that no other one made was trading Michael Gallup for Denzel Mims and trading Leighton Van Der Esch to the Packers. He did make a really good pick in John Farrell, the safety from Georgia. So this isn't an indictment on him. It's just that I think that was more Jim's team than no other ones, but we'll see what he does going forward. I mean, they were in a bad spot. They're now 5-6, probably still right in contention for a wild card spot. And at 15, I have Paul. Paul would be higher if he streamed more games or let his opponent stream more games, but Paul added players that were pretty good to his team, and then made, trades for young guys that I think really help out. I think the trade for Ron Swanson is a win for Paul, even if he gave up a really good tackle in Mitchell Schwartz. He's been able to keep Tyreek and McCole Hardman around. He got Travis Kelce off the books and added a decent young tight end in Spade. He didn't have to move Chris Jones, even though that was his initial move. He's got Noah Igbenogany, who's playing really well. So, I mean, he's done some really nice things here. So, I really like what Paul's doing and think that he would be winning more games if he streamed more. So, moving on to the next batch of questions from Lee. So, shout out to Lee for always sending in really good questions. Will the potential trade of Lamar Jackson improve the Colts? Yes, absolutely. He's a much better quarterback than Drew Lock, so I don't think that there's not a quarterback he could have added outside of Mahomes who I think would be a better player for him. Which side of the Jackson trade would you rather be on? Probably the Colts, if only because I don't like Jamie Newman particularly much, and I don't think that move for the Ravens, like, they get a lot younger on defense, but Jackson is the second best quarterback at worst in this Madden. If he gets his scrambling back up instead of being improviser at some point, I think that really helps. What are the plans at quarterback going forward for the Dolphins since Tua has recently been put on the block? See what we can get for Tua, obviously. It's not a set deal that Tua will be moved. If I don't get back what I think I deserve for Tua, then Tua will be the quarterback of the Dolphins. If he's not the quarterback of the Dolphins, expect to see if he does get moved and I do get what I think I can get for him, expect to see the Dolphins be very active trying to trade up into the top 2 picks. The Dolphins will probably be willing to give up a lot to go get one of those 2 quarterbacks at the top. Are the Seahawks the team to beat in this season for the Super Bowl? No, I still think it's the Patriots, but they've definitely closed it between them, Packers, and Patriots. I still think it's those three teams and then everybody else. I really like the Bengals team. I think they can beat any of them, but I think that's the pecking order. I think it's Pats, Packers, Seahawks, Bengals in that order as the favorites to win the Super Bowl. And whatever team gets crazy hot during the playoffs. With Lamar Jackson likely taking over for the Colts next season, where do you see Drew Lock ending up in free agency? He will most likely have the most passing yards in the NFL this season. Who will take a chance on him? It's not an indictment on you. I think your team's really good, and I think the difference between 1 and 3 is as small as it could possibly be. I think that any of those teams could realistically beat each other. Like, it's really small. Like, it's not a big difference. And as for the Drew Lock, where could he end up in free agency? Looking at the quarterback situations, there's really only a couple spots that I think he could end up. Lock's good, but he's going to want a decent-sized contract. Falcons, maybe. Jags would be a potential spot. Maybe the Raiders. But I think the Texans are the spot that makes the most sense for him. But we'll see. That's a tough one because you never know what's going to happen in the offseason with the QBs. What slider changes are being considered going forward? Any thoughts on run blocking being slightly OP? Tackling is something that's supposed to be getting changed. So, that's definitely a slider that we're looking on. I think run blocking is in a weird spot because I don't know how much of it is the run blocking is so OP. I think a lot of it is that the tackling is so poor that you have 5 or 6 guys hit a dude and he finally goes down with the 6th guy tackling him. So, with 5 games left in the season, early predictions on all pro teams and all rookie teams. Curious to see who you guys have in the lead in your minds currently. I haven't really looked at this a lot yet. I usually don't look at it until like 15 or 16. But if I had to pick locks for at least some of those teams, I would say Akers, Montez Sweat, Stephon Gilmore, Tremaine Edmonds are all locks for some sort of all-pro team. And then JoJo Brewer and the Texans running back Glenn are locks for all-rookie right now, would be my guess. I don't think that there's any way that anybody catches Brewer in interceptions, and Glenn has a pretty sizable lead in rushing, so. All right, back to the list. So, at number 14, let's see if I can say Manik. At number 14, I really like what he's done with this team. In a time when everybody said Giles was trash, he stuck to his convictions and said Giles is good. And it's paid off for him. Dude's been a lot better than I would have expected. 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He only has 9 fumbles. He, still has Saquon. He didn't make a lot of moves to improve his receiving core, but he didn't need to with Giles. The CJ Rogan pick gets better and better as they keep winning. He's done everything you could ask from a guy with not a lot of talent on this team and just made them good. Sean Wade's been really good. every pick he's made is panning out. So I really like what he's done in New York. At number 13, I have Serrano, who will be leaving us at some point, just doesn't have the time. Stayed put at number 2, picked Justin Fields, who's been really good. Picked Master Teague-Up, who's been pretty good for him. Didn't have to make any moves with receivers. His offensive line is okay, but he didn't, he's got a scrambler, so it doesn't matter. But adding Aaron Donald was huge. Drafting Tyler Shelvin, trading for Eric Kendricks, so now he's got, 2 guys who are pretty good at the middle linebacker spot. He hasn't made any bad moves. Every move he's made has made his team better. So, at number 12, we have Kevin. Again, probably higher than people thought Kevin would be, but Kevin's team has been pretty good. He's made moves to make that team better, while also making moves that I think make them worse. But, adding Baker Mayfield and getting rid of Teddy Bridgewater is a smart move. I don't like getting rid of Christian McCaffrey, but you get Chuba and you get Kerryon Johnson. That's not bad. Cooper Kupp is a really good slot receiver and fits in with that receiving core. I didn't know he got Hayden Hurst. That's not a bad move. Jackson Carmine has been good for him as his only draft pick that I think he's made in 2 years. So, this is all about the trades that Kevin has made and the development of his young guys. Getting Dre Greenlaw and moving on from Shaq Thompson. Kevin's a draft dodger. Moving Earl Thomas to corner, that's a weird move, but Kevin has made a lot of really good moves, so I really like some of the things Kevin has done, and I really hate some of the other things Kevin has done, but and so that leads to number 11, which is a kind of a similar situation for me. It's Corbin the Rams. I really like some of his moves. I'm still not sold on Jalen Hurts, but he's winning, so I can't really say too much, negative about him. The 9 fumbles, that's not hurting him. He took a long time to come around on starting Cam Akers exclusively. That's been really good for him. He added OBJ, Michael Gallup, Thielen. This is a really good receiving core. Taylor Whitfield was a great pick. Like we said earlier in the season preview podcast and the live draft, Corb might have had the best draft out of anybody. Ali Marpet was a great pickup. Joel Bentonio, great pickup. This is a really solid Rams team trading for Trey Flowers. He's done everything he could, adding Ogunjobi, Cole Holcomb, Micah Parsons, Drew Tranquill, all really good players. He added Xavier Howard. This is just a really good Matthew. I forgot he traded for him. Jesus Christ. Corb has done a lot of really good moves. And so at number 10, I have Jim. Jim also left because of time constraints, so he's missed. He traded for Darnold, which ended up being really good. He didn't make these moves. He added, before he was released, he added Teron Armstead. He added Cameron Jordan. He really went all in on winning this season, or the first couple seasons. So I liked a lot of what Jim did. He made moves that were sound, solid moves. Nothing was a bad move for Jim. So now we're into the top 10. So let's do some more questions before we actually get to 9 through 1. And let's go on to Cirilio's questions. With Tua on the block, could we see Miami trading up in the draft to secure a new franchise QB? If I get the picks to make the move up, I will 100% be trying to move into one of those top 2 spots. Preferably number 1 so I can take my pick at quarterback. JoJo seems to be a lock for Rookie of the Year. Did you expect this output from him at the beginning of this season? Absolutely not. I thought he would be a fine number 2 corner, and that was it. I didn't think he would be great by any stretch. Seattle looks poised to go deep in the playoffs after the win to the Packers. Did you expect them to look as good as they have? Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in the season preview that it was. We thought the 3 teams we thought it was. Well, I guess we did think everybody could be good, but we thought it was 49ers, Cardinals, and Seahawks fighting for that top spot. So yeah, I expected them to be really good. You did. You missed your questions. I can go over the answers I gave for you really quick, Vince. I said whoever the new Broncos user is, as somebody who would get trapped by Cody. Most likely to pull a Noel Soda, Tyler, but then I was reminded of Titan Sam, so most likely to go all in on a Super Bowl. They'll never win. Rebel, and Kevin pointed himself out. Most likely to be in the tank this entire Madden cycle, the Vikings. And the most likely to be 8-8 forever, I said Sam and myself. If you could have one defensive player and one offensive player on any NFL GM roster at this point to build a team around, who would they be? Montez Sweat for defensive player. He's just been so good. And then either Wyrick or Mixon. I think those running backs are really good to have in this Madden, so I'd want one of them. Would you say cornerbacks are the most important position on defense this year? Yes. I think it's pretty clear that corners are Jalen Waddle and Tyler Woodard. I think corners are absolutely the most important players on defense, more so than pass rushers. They've just been so OP so far this Madden. And Cirilio's last question: are the Dolphins a contender for playoff spot next year? If not, how far away are they? And I said no, but only because I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like. If I get a quarterback or Tua is still a Dolphin, like I would say probably, but we'll just have to see where that goes. So moving on to number 9 on the list, we have Rebel. Rebel has done a lot of really good things this Madden. Adding Brian Sharp, which was a surprise at how good he was, really ended up being a win for Rebel. Adding Kamara, great move by him. He hasn't, he had a Marquise Brown. He had also added AJ Green, Njoku. He's just Marcus Pouncey. He's just made moves that are solid all around. And he inherited a really good defensive line, but he's done things that just make it so it's hard not to like this team. Adding Casey Hayward, Clinton Dix, he's just done enough that this team is in contention for a Super Bowl. So that's all you can ask for from a GM. Staying in the NFC East, we'll go to Eagles Ryan at number 8. He's got Tyrell Williams. He's got Marquez Valdez Scantling. He moved on from Ertz before it was a big deal. He's drafted really well. And he's kept the key pieces around, which is good because this team has a chance to win a Super Bowl this season if they can keep everything going right. The trade for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was really good. He didn't give up a lot to get him. You know, he's got the 2 young superstar safeties. So he's done everything you could possibly do this Madden to keep this Eagles team relevant. You know, we'll see what happens with these guys getting older at certain positions. But if he can keep the core of this team together, this is a Super Bowl contender. I don't know how long Wentz is on the team, but I think that depends on what the quarterback situation is. And so at number 7, we have Chris. Chris made a lot of great moves. If Chris was still around and this team was trending the right way, I think Chris would probably be top 4. But picking Purdy up, like I don't have much to say about Chris outside of the things that have already been said a million times on this podcast because Chris was a really good GM. So yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about Chris as far as like the moves he made. But you know, just say that, you know, the league got a little weaker without Chris just because of his activity and his moves and his, you know, just everything that Chris did for the league. So it sucks that he's not around anymore. Hopefully Giovanni starts, you know, actually playing. At number 6, we have the meme himself, Pode. Traded for Dak. I don't like the move, but Dak was really good last season. Signed Aaron Jones, a really, really good move. Traded for Michael Thomas and D.D. Westbrook. Drafted Charleston Rambo. Reggie Roberson. So Pode's done a lot of good things on this offensive side. Added Travis Kelce. I mean, he's done a lot of really good things here. I don't think that there's a lot. Realistically, the only 2 moves that Pode's made that I don't like is trading Quinnen Williams and signing Jadeveon Clowney. But outside of that, every move Pode's made has been really, really good. I mean, he had traded for Kyle Van Noy a couple seasons ago, had to release him to cap situation, trading for Marcus Williams, drafting Vaughn Sutton. I didn't know he went into that division. You know, he's just done everything right. So hopefully Pode can figure out what he wants to do at quarterback and, you know, be able to move forward. So we're at the top 5. So let's check out what Kevin's questions were. GM who has had the best Madden compared to last Madden. Will. I think Will has to be the one who's had the best Madden. Will was a good team last Madden, but he didn't win a Super Bowl, and it took his team until he got Harry Winter to really compete. So I'm going to go with Will. GM who's had the worst Madden compared to last. I guess I would say right now, Lee and myself. Lee and I competed in the NFC South with Cody pretty much throughout. Lee won a couple division titles. I won a couple division titles, or maybe just one. And this Madden, neither one of us has really competed yet. I think Lee's on his way. We'll see what happens with me. Hold on one second. Do what? Mm. Okay, we're good. Damn it, lost that. Best move of any GM this Madden. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna go with Russ trading for Quinnen Williams. I think that makes that team better. And then followed by a close second with Will adding Davante Adams and Preston Williams in year one. That was, I think, the difference between him winning the Super Bowl and him not being able to beat Cody. Oh, it's fine. Worst move of any GM this Madden. Oh god, that's tough. That's I'm not giving. No, stop it, Cody. You already traded for Watson once. I already liked it last year. I'm not doing it again. No, don't feed his ego. Oh yeah, Devontae Parker. Sorry. Yeah. The reason Watson can't be number one is because he didn't. But he didn't win a Super Bowl, so stop it. He didn't win the Super Bowl last year. Got destroyed by the Cowboys. I'm gonna say the Leighton Vander Esch trade is the worst move that's been made. I don't like that move at all. For the Cowboys, it was great for Will, but it was terrible for the Cowboys. Best pick this Madden. Taylor Whitfield would probably be my pick for the best draft pick. Superstar tight end. Hey, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You don't get a pass. I expect Super Bowls every year, Cody. He was the second tight end taken and the 19th player, and he's a superstar. So, yeah. Worst pick. I don't know. I'm gonna go Rondale Moore being taken at 9, year one. He's done nothing, so. Are wings an appetizer or a main course? It depends. How many wings are we talking? We're talking 8 wings? That's an appetizer. We're talking 20? That's a main course. And it also depends on where you're eating, because at Buffalo Wild Wings. Oh, I forgot about that pick. Oh, you're right. Never mind. I'm going to change my mind. It's not Rondale Moore, although Rondale Moore is a close second. That pick at the second, but that wasn't really him, but we'll throw that one on there. And so, for the top 5 GMs in Madden right now, in the NFL GM League, at number 5, we have Roy. He moved on from DeAndre Hopkins when I don't think a lot of people would have and would have. I want Slackbot to yell at me. He brought in Sony Michel and Duke Johnson Jr. to help that running game stay consistent. Tyler Higbee is a really good move for him. His offensive line is still banged up, but that right side of the line is so good with Ruiz and Ramczyk. Trading for Carl Lawson was a win for Roy. Adding Linval Joseph is nice. He moved on from Chandler Jones when he got too expensive, but he's got Preston Smith and Shaq Thompson, and he brought in Kyle Van Noy. developing these two safeties into the best tandem in the league. Like, it's just, Roy's done a really nice job all around. At number 4, we are going to the Great Pacific Northwest and to Russ. Again, as with the 4 teams that are the Super Bowl contenders, which these are the same 4 teams, this is really close. Any of these guys could rightfully be number 1. Russ has kept the team together, but moved on from guys like Tyler Lockett and got a nice return for him. Adding Eric Ebron, who's been one of the best tight ends this Madden. He had 2 All-Pro. He had an All-Pro left tackle and left guard year 1. They both retired on him, and he replaced them pretty well. Adding David DeCastro, Hamilcar Rashad is really nice. Bringing in Quinnen Williams is a great move. He had Snacks Harrison for a year. He's done nothing that hurts, like a lot of other guys in the top 10. Nothing that hurts this team, and everything to put them in the best position to compete this season and going forward. The one thing is he's got Russ getting older. That is tough, but I don't think it matters. I think this is still going to be a really good team, and he'll find a quarterback. At number 3, we have Cirilio. Adding Keenan Allen, adding Zach Ertz and Hunter Henry, Brian Bulaga. He drafted Creed Humphrey, who's been amazing for him. Adding J.J. Watt. There's just not been anything. This guy, it was this guy, maybe? No. Was it that other guy? Or was it a middle linebacker? Cedric Shaw, yeah. Shaw is a superstar. Getting Trey White, drafting Eric Stokes. This has just been all around. Adding Keanu Neal, signing Von Bell. Like, he's just really done a lot of really nice things to make this team compete with Cody in the AFC. At number 2, we have the New England Patriots. Trading for Deshaun Watson. Cody thinks it's the best move. We'll see. It's a really good one. I can't give him credit for the Wyrick thing because that was just Sam made Wyrick too OP, and I'm sure Sam regrets that now. Javion Hawkins was a great pick. You really thought I know you thought when I stopped at Will number there, you were like, he's gonna make me number 1. Trading for Stephon Diggs. This is actually probably, now that I think about it, the best move that anybody's made, adding Stephon Diggs. Signing Will Fuller, trading for Marvin Jones, adding Jamison Crowder, trading for Rob Gronkowski, keeping this offensive line together, and then drafting Jake Gordon, who's been really good. There's only 2 teams left, and I stopped on the other one. Twyman's been really good. Xavier Thomas has been looking at it, all of Cody's moves have been really good, but as much as I want to give it to him, and if Cody wins the Super Bowl this year, this list will change dramatically, but I can't give it to Cody when he lost to this guy in the Super Bowl year 1. And every move that I can't do it though. How can I justifiably put you over Will right now? Like, do I think you're number one? Probably. But like John Davidson wearing a Cody costume to the contest, it was a trick. It was a trick. Um, Jordan Love, I didn't think Jordan Love was going to be. He inherited this roster? Oh, come on. Jordan Love didn't think he was going to be that good. AJ Dillon, he made the move to start AJ Dillon. He inherited this roster with his 3 wide receivers who weren't on this roster at the start of Madden. Adding Julio, adding Devontae Parker, adding Preston Williams, all really good moves. Dante Pettis he brought in. I mean, he's got a solid receiving core. Traded for Dawson Knox. I didn't have a better legacy player. You didn't choose. Oh, you weren't gonna pick Wyrick. You weren't gonna pick him. I picked him for you. You could say that he inherited a really good offensive line, but then he trades for Mitchell Schwartz. He added Akeem Hicks. He added AJ Epinesa. Signed Harrison Phillips, that's whatever. Traded for Leighton Vander Esch. Drafted Chaz Surratt. Got Rashawn Gary to be really good. Before he traded him, he had Xavier Howard, and he traded him for... All right. Why do we have to talk shit to me now? I'm just, added Eli Apple, added David Long this offseason. Adrian Amos wasn't a superstar. So I really liked what Will's done. And like I said, you could make the argument for any of the guys in the top 4 being number 1. And so I have one more set of questions to get to from my co-host, Sam. Who could not be here today because of Halloween stuff. Favorite player you've drafted in any Madden? So the favorite player I've drafted in any Madden is probably... That's tough. It's between 3 guys. It's between J.W. Wells, Bradley Trey Tuoa, and Hunter Trainier. I think it's going to go J.W. Wells. He was one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in Madden 19 when scrambling quarterbacks weren't a real thing yet. If you could dump any salary right now and not take a penalty, who would it be? For me, it's got to be... For me, it's got to be Byron Jones. It would have been... Yeah, for you, definitely whack. Yeah, the Super Bowls matter. It's the reason Jim was in the top 10. It's the reason Will's number 1. You win a Super Bowl, and I think that... And I will probably do this list, and hopefully Sam will be able to join me next season. We'll do it again, and we'll re-rank. But yeah, Byron Jones would be the guy who I would dump salary if I could. I don't really have a lot of other guys who have big contracts. Least favorite team to play against this Madden, it's Cody. I hate playing Cody's team. They put up 21 points in like 2 minutes against me. So, if we redrafted teams, what team would you take? That's tough. maybe the Cardinals. I didn't think Kyler was going to be as good. Everything pointed to Scramblers being nerfed this Madden, and they absolutely weren't. Uh, when we do our MLB The Show Online Dynasty, which GM is going to be involved in a PED scandal? Cody, absolutely. I'm going to bring the wheel over there, and Cody will be involved in every PD scandal possible. And the final question for the podcast today, why do I hate Roy? I don't hate Roy at all. I like Roy a lot. Roy makes me laugh. I made a comment about Roy being deaf. I shouldn't have done that. It's really ableist of me. No, I like Roy. Roy's a cool dude. Roy brings a lot to this league with his memes that just it breathes a lot of life into the league. So I really appreciate Roy and everything he does here. So we will be banging on trash cans. Yeah, so that's it for the list. If there's any questions you guys want to ask in the chat real quick, I'll hang out for a minute. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and hop off and do a stream. You're a Tigers fan. I don't want to say what I'm a fan of because when Roy listens to this, I don't want him to talk shit to me. So, but it's not the Astros. So, I have given you credit all the time, Cody. It's not like I come out here and just say your team's trash. If anybody, I don't give Kevin enough credit. Like that's the one person who could make that argument realistically. That I'm too mean to him. Yeah, I saw that. That's hopefully he'll teach you guys the trash cans. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off and start my stream against Spaz. So thanks for coming out. Like I said, hopefully next season we'll do this again, and I'll bring Sam on here so we can have opposing opinions because I don't think Sam and I would have the same list. So thanks for coming out, guys. As I